Hello everyone. Montagu Chelmsford Reforms and the Government of India Act 1919. The British government, not prepared to part with even share its power with the Indians, once again resorted to the policy of carrot and stick. The carrot was represented by the insubstantial Montagu Chelmsford reforms, while measures such as the Rowlatt Act represented the stick. In line with the government policy contained in Montagu's statement of August 1917, the government announced further constitutional reforms in July 1918, known as Montagu-Chelmsford or Montford reforms. Based on this, the Government of India Act 1919 was enacted. Main features. The main features of the Montford reforms were as follows. Provincial government introduction of diarchy. The Act introduced diarchy for the executive at the level of the provincial government. Executive diarchy, that is, rule of two executive councillors and popular ministers, was introduced. The governor was to be the executive head in the province. Subjects were divided into two lists: reserved, which included subjects such as law and order, finance, land, revenue, irrigation, etc., and transfer subjects such as education, health, local government, industry, agriculture, excise, etc. The reserved subjects were to be administered by the governor through his executive council of bureaucrats, and the transfer subjects were to be administered by the ministers nominated from among the elected members of the legislative council. The ministers were to be responsible to the legislature and had to resign if a no confidence motion was passed against them by the legislature, while the executive councillors were not to be responsible to the legislature. In case of failure of constitutional machinery in the province, the governor could take over the administration of transferred subjects also. The Secretary of State for India and the Governor General could interfere in respect of reserved subjects, while in respect of the transferred subjects, the scope for their interference was restricted. Legislature. Provincial legislative councils were further expanded and 70% of the members were to be elected. The system of communal and class electorates was further consolidated. Women were also given the right to vote. The legislative councils could initiate legislation, but the governor's assent was required. The governor could veto bills and issue ordinances. The legislative councils reject the budget, but the governor could restore it if necessary. The legislatures enjoyed freedom of speech. Central government still without responsible government. No responsible government was envisaged in the Act for the government at the All India level. The main points were executive. The Governor General was to be the chief executive authority. There were to be two lists for administration, central and provincial. In the Viceroy's Executive Council of 8, 3 were to be Indians. The Governor General retained full control over the reserved subjects in the provinces. The Governor General could restore cuts in grants, certify bills rejected by the central legislature, and issue ordinances. Legislature. A bicameral arrangement was introduced. The lower house or central legislative assembly would consist of 145 members, 41 nominated and 104 elected, 52 general, 30 Muslims, 2 Sikhs, 20 special, and the upper house or council of state would have 60 members, of which 26 were to be nominated and 34 elected, 20 general, 10 Muslims, 3 Europeans, and 1 Sikh, as per the figures given by Subhash Kashyap. The Council of State had a tenure of 5 years and had only male members, while the Central Legislative Assembly had a tenure of 3 years. The legislature could ask questions and supplementaries, pass adjournment motions, and vote a part of the budget, but 75% of the budget was still not votable. Some Indians found their way into important committees, including finance. On the home government in Britain front, the Government of India Act 1919 made an important change. The Secretary of State for India was henceforth to be paid out of British exchequer. Like, share and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you. Bye.